Hello, fellow Movie Crusaders, and welcome to the Movie Crusaders Oscars show. My name is Sean Waskrug. With me, as always, is Brian Michaels. This is our second annual year of doing this. We have our own award show. It's called the Movie Crusaders. Did we call it something else, or it's just the Movie Crusaders Award Show?
I don't think we gave it a name, no.
I don't think we gave it a name, but we do that. That was our second year doing this one as well, and it's more fun than the Oscars. It's got way more fun categories. It's got more movies that people actually do watch compared to what the Oscars normally do. But nonetheless, the Oscars are still the Oscars, and they still need to be talked about, even though Brian hates the Oscars so much. And most of the movies that you bitch about the Oscars every year, man.
Because I used to be huge in the Oscars, honestly. I used to hold giant Oscar parties. It was like I rented out the clubhouse in my apartment building. We had a ton of people there. It used to be awesome. But the problem is that as years have gone by, well, part of it's just life, other responsibilities I don't have. And, a lot of my friends have moved on their different ways, things like that. But also in the last several years, it's just like most of the movies I just don't care about. And it's like I even went to watch the Oscars, I'm halfway through the show and I'm like, I don't care. And it's just, and then the 2020 awards, that just show itself was so awful. You're just like, oh my God. But I wrote that off as just being 2020 was a weird year, whatever. But then again, last year I was kind of like,
Yeah.
Anyway,
I
wouldn't say hate. Hate is a strong word. Yes.
You really dislike it. I'm not necessarily the greatest fan of the Oscars either, but it's still the Oscars and you have to take notice of them. But when we do our award show, we also do our own version of Best Supporting Actor, Actress, Best Lead Actress, Actor, Director, and Picture. But we hold those off for this special episode where we talk about the Oscars, the nominations, the actual real nominations, and then we also give our own because our opinion is what matters, not the Academy. So in this episode, we will be going over the top 5 awards, basically everything that I just said, and we will be going over the actual people who are nominated for tomorrow's award show or today's award show, depending on when this video actually comes out. And we're going to explain who we think will win based off of predictions and who we think should win those awards. And then we will also give our own version of our nominees and our winners for said awards. Some of those people are nominated for the show, and some of them are people that you wouldn't expect, but we think that they are the best performances of 2022. So we'll go ahead and start with actor in a supporting role. Let's go ahead and go with the actual Oscars stuff first, and then we'll put our special flavor at the end of it. The current nominees, well, the actual nominees, there's no current. It's not like it's going to change. But the nominees for actors in a supporting role is Brandon Gleeson in The Banshees of Inisherin, Brian Tyree Henry in Causeway, Judd Hirsch in The Fabelmans, Brian Coogan in The Banshees of Inisherin, and Ke-Huy Quan, said it right, in Everything Everywhere All
What you call him, Brian Cogan? It's Barry Cogan.
Did I say Brian?
You said Brian Cogan. Anyway.
Shit.
Anyway.
I got so cocky, and there's Brian going, not so fast.
Just like I got to almost in the last video before I knocked my mic over. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. I mean, I'll go first, and I don't honestly, this is a one-person race. It really is. Nothing against everyone nominated. I have not seen Brian Tyree Henry's Causeway, so I can't really say anything about that. But I've seen everyone else's performances. But this is Ke-Huy Quan's. If the Academy decides now to screw him when he's literally won it everywhere else, that's gonna be one of the biggest mistakes in Oscar history. He deserves it. So I think Ke-Huy Quan should and will win for Everything Everywhere All at Once. What say you, Brian?
I agree. I think that he has won everything all along the way, so he's by far the favorite to win it. And of the movies I've seen, which is all of them except Causeway, I think he deserves it.
Yeah, it's the Oscars choose now to do it, man. Like I might because that's usually one of the very first awards of the night, because they want to start it off on a hot start. If they don't give it to him, oh my God, I might just turn it off because like Twitter will. I don't need to watch the Oscars at that point. I'll just watch Twitter because Twitter will explode if he doesn't win. But our nominees for Best Supporting Actor based off of our choices.
Disclaimer before we get into this as well. It's like Sean has his favorites. I have my favorites. We had to do some dealing and wheeling, deciding with you. And so some of them we might not be in complete agreement on, but these are our combined picks.
This is no different than our award show where we
Yes.
basically had to collectively come up with the nominations and collectively agree on the winners. So that he's not going to have his 5 and my 5. This is our collective nominees for Best Supporting Actor. And that is Barry Coogan for The Banshees of Inisherin.
Close enough.
Ethan Hawke for The Black Phone. Ben Foster for Emancipation. Ke-Huy Quan for Everything Everywhere All at Once. And Edward Norton for Glass Onion, A Knives Out Mystery. And the winner for our award for Best Supporting Actor goes to, obviously, Ke-Huy Quan for Everything Everywhere All at Once, for everything that we just previously said. Next, we're going to go to Actress in a Supporting Role. The actual nominees are Angela Bassett for Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Hong Chow for The Whale, Carrie Condon for The Banshees of Inisherin, Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Stephanie Zhu for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Brian, why don't you go first for this one?
Of these, the only nominee I did not get around to seeing, just did not have personal interest in, was The Whale. So I cannot judge Hong Chow's, but again, she doesn't have a lot of awards and things, coming into this. So I think that it comes down to two-horse race of Jamie Lee Curtis and Angela Bassett. Personally, I think who will win it will actually be Angela Bassett. This is one where I disagree with a lot of people, because I think a lot of people do predict Jamie Lee Curtis because she just won, what was it, the Screen Actors Guild, I think, just recently.
Yeah.
And but I think that the fact that there are two Everything Everywhere All at Once actresses in there might split the vote of people who are fans of that movie. And also, I think that the push in recent years to add a more diverse body to the Academy, I think that's going to help Angela Bassett. So I think she will win, and she's actually my choice that she should win it as well. She was just amazing in Wakanda Forever.
I agree, and Angela Bassett was really good in the movie. And like you, I also have not seen The Whale, so I can't say anything about Hong Chow's performance. I don't know if it's good or bad. Obviously, in theory, it should be good because she was nominated.
Yeah.
I love Jamie Lee Curtis and Stephanie Zhu in Everything Everywhere All at Once. If I had to choose between those two on who to win, I would pick Stephanie. But I don't think that the Oscars are going to give it to her because Jamie Lee Curtis is the bigger name. But in terms of who I think will win, I actually think it's going to be an upset. And I actually think it's going to go to Carrie Condon. I think, like you said, Jamie Lee Curtis and Stephanie are probably going to split the votes. I think that the Oscars want to acknowledge Angela Bassett because she's Angela Bassett, but it's still a superhero movie. And I feel like they're still going to screw her out of it because of that. So at that point, it comes down to Carrie Condon, who put on a great performance.
Well, I would not have a problem with Carrie Condon winning. She was great.
So I think she's going to be that one where that's going to be like, to me, like the shocker pick of like, oh, wow, okay, like she's deserving of it, but we didn't think she was going to win. And that to me is going to be like the shock factor one. I would, if I had to choose who I would want to win or should win, I would probably go with Stephanie Zhu or Angela Bassett for that. Either one of them I'd be fine with, but I think Carrie Condon's actually going to get the upset pick. I'm pretty much okay with any one of these people winning. Unlike actor in supporting role, where I was like, this better go to Ke-Huy Quan. Outside of Hong Chow, like I said, just because we haven't seen The Whale, if they name any of these fine women as the winner, I'd be like, okay, that's cool. I'm fine with
So
all.
who is your pick for should win?
I want Bassett and Stephanie to both win. I guess if I'm to nudge over one, I'd probably pick Stephanie because I think her performance in Everything Everywhere All at Once is a lot stronger than Bassett, even though I think Bassett did a really great job. And then I think, like I said, Condon will win. So those are my choices for that. Now, our choices for Best Supporting Actress, based off of our selections, is Carrie Condon in The Banshees of Inisherin, Angela Bassett in Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Stephanie Zhu in Everything Everywhere All at Once, Janelle Monáe in Glass Onion, A Knives Out Mystery, and Lashana Lynch in The Woman King. And the winner for Best Supporting Actress for us is Angela Bassett in Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Yeah, like I said, I thought she was great. Brian really liked her, so we gave we picked Angela Bassett for that one.
I did, and actually, I apparently missed the last edit we made on this because I had Evan Rachel Wood for Weird instead of Lashana Lynch, but that's just me.
was not even on my list.
Should have been. Got to Lashana. I wasn't a big fan of Lashana.
She wasn't winning anyway.
Anyway, yeah. I just want to give her an honorable mention. There you go.
Yes. Next is we'll go actress. Best actress for a leading role. We've got the actual nominees. We got Cate Blanchett in Tar, Ana de Armas in Blonde. Is it Andrea
Riseborough
to Leslie, Michelle Williams in The Fabelmans, and Michelle Yeoh in Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'll go first on this one. This is, to me, a two-person race. It's between Cate Blanchett and Michelle Yeoh. I have not seen Tar because it just looks boring as shit, and I really don't care about it. I'm sure she's fantastic in it. I have no interest in wanting to watch a 3-hour movie based off of that. Ana de Armas has no business being nominated for this because Blonde was one of the worst fucking films of 2022.
She was not the problem with it, to be fair.
Fair,
though, she was not the problem with it.
Her performance is still not Oscar
worthy.
Right. Never saw To Leslie, and I don't think Michelle Williams in The Fabelmans is A, leading role, and B, deserved to be an Oscar nominated as well. So it literally comes down to Blanchett and Michelle Yeoh, but I think will and should win will go to Michelle Yeoh. Like I said, she was a force in Everything Everywhere All at Once, and I think that she deserves to get this win. I don't know. I mean, and it's not saying like she's gonna like pass away soon or anything like that, but I don't think there's gonna be many chances for Michelle Yeoh to get the nominee again, much like Ke Huy Quan. Blanchett's gonna get nominated at least 3 more times. I think Michelle Yeoh is the one that people should give for this one. What say you?
So I have not seen To Leslie. Blonde, I was basically talked out of watching by the reviews I heard about it. And for me to not watch Ana de Armas movie, especially one where she's getting naked, just saying, that had to have heard bad things. But even so, I don't think that she would have been an Oscar winner for this performance. Michelle Williams, I thought was like a caricature in The Fabelmans. I thought she did a horrible job in this role personally, but that's just me. So again, it comes down to Cate Blanchett and Michelle Yeoh. I have not seen Tar. I have a feeling that if I saw Tar, it's not my kind of movie. It's not me judging the movie. It's just not my kind of thing. I have a feeling that I could very well feel that she is probably the best performance of the year because she is just such a great actress. She can do pretty much anything and she does it excellently. But Michelle Yeoh, I think that she will win it. And I think that from what I've seen, I think she should win it. I'm not as big a fan of Everything Everywhere All at Once as everyone else is. I like it quite a bit. I have problems with it, but she is not one of them. She does an amazing job in it.
Now our nominees for Best Actress based off of our nominations. And those are Florence Pugh in Don't Worry, Darling, Michelle Yeoh in Everything Everywhere All at Once, Regina Hall in Honk If You Love Jesus, Thuso Mbedu in The Woman King, and Viola Davis in The Woman King. And the winner for Best Actress goes to also Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once, literally for everything that we said previously. Next, we're going to go to Best Actor or Actor in a Leading Category or Leading Role. And the nominees for that for the real Oscars are Austin Butler in Elvis, Colin Farrell in The Banshees of Inisherin, Brendan Fraser in The Whale, Paul, is it Mescal?
Yeah.
Mescal in After Sun, and Bill Nighy in Living. I have only seen 2 of these performances personally. As much as I really wanted to see The Whale because I really wanted to see Fraser in a role that he got nominated for, because I heard about that. I was like, man, he got nominated? Like, fuck, he might win? I want to see this. I just couldn't bring myself to watch that movie. So I'm sure his performance is great. I just can't bring myself to watch it. I never saw After Sun or Living, so I can't say much for Paul or Bill's performances. All I've seen is Butler and Farrell. I'm gonna go a little off on this because normally I have to see it in order to pick it, but I think based off of everything, I think will and should is Brendan Fraser. I think everything that he's gone through, I think the potential performance that I've been hearing about for him in this, I think Brendan Fraser deserves it. I think Austin Butler, maybe if he hadn't started rubbing people the wrong way because he can't drop the damn voice, I think he's getting some negative feedback on it.
Is that a thing? I didn't know that was a thing. Okay.
Oh, dude, Angela Bassett really told him to cut the shit and stop fucking doing the voice and stop acting like you can't get rid of it. Like even like actors are actually starting to get annoyed with him because he can't stop talking like Elvis. And Colin Farrell, I think was great in Banshee of Inisherin. But I think Brendan Fraser, because of the Golden Globes backlash and everything like that, I think it's his to win. I think he's also more of the heart win of the night, as much as Ke Huy Quan will be as well. I think the Oscars are really going to try to go out of the way to pick the heart tug awards for this, and I think Fraser is the one that will give that opportunity. Austin Butler is definitely the young hotshot, but I think this is Fraser's to give. What about you?
Yeah, I think the word you're looking for is the sentimental favorite, the sentimental pick. And I completely agree with that. Again, I have only seen Elvis and Banshees of Inisherin. This is going to probably piss off a lot of people who watch our show, but I've gotten to a point now where I, for the most part, don't watch movies that I'm not interested in, even if there are no nominated awards. That's just the way I do it. The Whale, I think that I got a lot of early buzz for his performance. Once it came out, it seemed to cool a little bit as far as the awards talk. I mean, people still said he was good, but the movie was kind of, seemed to cool a little bit. But then it got a resurgence again, and then again, he's won a bunch of awards just recently leading up to the Oscars. So I agree. I think that he is going to get the award. As for who should, I would actually go with Colin Farrell. I think that Brendan Fraser, it's one of those roles that's kind of like, it's just crying like, oh, I want to win an Oscar, and those almost kind of turn me off sometimes, honestly. Again, I haven't seen it, but I'm sure he's good. But Colin Farrell, I thought he did a very good job at portraying it. It's a very kind of layered, like emotional role where you're kind of trying to see everything he's going through and trying to understand what's going through with him and his friendship. And I think he just portrays the emotion very well. Austin Butler, we both thought was the best thing about Elvis, among a lot of other things that weren't so great in Elvis. But I think the rest of the movie brings it down, so he kind of hurts his chances to win the award for acting.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. So you think will
I
win?
think Colin Farrell should. Brendan Fraser will.
Okay. And then our nominees for Best Actor is Colin Farrell for The Banshees of Inisherin, John Boyega in Breaking, Austin Butler in Elvis, Will Smith in Emancipation, and Adam Sandler in Hustle. Like I said, Fraser is not nominated because we didn't see The Whale. Going with our nominee, the winner is Austin Butler in Elvis because, like I said, we loved his performance. It's funny that you and I both think Colin Farrell is worthy to win, but we didn't pick him. I think
it's the fact that like you give it to Brendan Fraser. I gave it to Colin Farrell, but our combined pick, I think the two of us are more on Austin Butler, and I think that's because if we're predicting Oscars, it's like things like the rest of them we can bring it down. But me and you look at this and we look at just Austin Butler. He had a great performance.
Yeah, it's literally one of those things. And you can say, well, yeah, he's Elvis, but you take Austin Butler's performance out of that movie. That movie is
trash fire.
Absolutely, and he makes that movie worth actually watching. If it wasn't for his actual performance of Elvis, which once again I know he's the lead character, without him, obviously the movie doesn't work. But you could put anyone in if it doesn't work. But his performance makes that movie somehow watchable.
Yeah,
and that's definitely why. Next, we're gonna go to Best Director. The one category I love because I'm so good with directors. But the actual nominees for the Oscars is Martin McDonagh for The Banshees of Inisherin, the Daniels, actually states Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert for Everything Everywhere All at Once. I hate that they just call them the Daniels. Like, dude, acknowledge their names, man. Steven Spielberg, The Fabelmans, Todd Field for Tar, and Ruben Östlund for Triangle of Sadness. I see all those little like things above. I'm like, yeah. For me, Brian did not like The Fabelmans. I did, but I don't think Spielberg is worthy of an Oscar for it. I think he does way better movies that he doesn't get nominated for compared to this one. So for me, it really kind of comes down to I guess technically 3-person race between Martin McDonagh and the Daniels. I think in terms of should win, I think it's Everything Everywhere All at Once, but I think actually Martin McDonagh will win. As much as I love Everything Everywhere All at Once, I think in terms of direction, it does go a little, and this is the one thing that Brian doesn't like, so he's gonna like that I'm agreeing with him on this. It does tend to go a little too wacky at points, whereas Martin McDonagh's direction is very much an Oscar-worthy, Oscar-esque type of directorial film. It's beautifully shot. The story, while basic, is gripping. The performances are all well done. The writing is incredibly strong. Everything about that screams Oscar for Martin McDonagh. So as much as I would like the Daniels to be acknowledged and win, I think McDonagh is the one that actually will win. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I was talking to you a little bit this before the show on this, is that the directors, this is the hardest one for me to pick because I've actually seen them all except for Tar. But Tar I know would not be my pick because it's the A24 kind of movie is just not my bag.
Yeah.
Triangle of Sadness, also I did see that one, but I did not really like that one very much. So it comes down to the other three. And the Daniels, again, like you said, I had issues with this movie, and they were issues that would come from the directorial side of it. The Banshees of Inisherin, again, I enjoyed that movie. It was one of the acting performances, the acting showcase. The direction of it did not do anything to hugely impress me. And The Fabelmans is kind of the opposite, where the movie did not impress me as far as the story and they chose to tell and how they chose to tell it. But it's like the direction of it. I mean, Steven Spielberg, it was excellently directed. So for me, for my prediction of who will win, I think that the Daniels actually do win. I think that Everything Everywhere All at Once is going to have a big night, and I think that the fact that all these other things are behind it are going to help push them to also get the award for best direction. As far as best director, I mean, for who I think should win, I guess just looking just at the direction of the film, I would honestly say Steven Spielberg.
Really?
I mean, the screenplay I wouldn't give it to because I think that it should have told the story differently and told a different part of the story, focusing on things like that. But as far as the direction of the film, as far as the way the film was made with the story they had, I think Steven Spielberg just is doing more of his mastercraft. One other thing to note is that with Martin McDonagh with Three Billboards, the year that it got nominated for a ton of awards, they didn't even nominate him for director.
And he should have won for that. I was one of
my. He should have. He should have. I'm just saying the Academy didn't seem to like him as a director. I don't know.
Three Billboards was fantastic.
Yeah.
Our nominees for Best Director is James Cameron, Avatar: The Way of the Water, Martin McDonagh, The Banshees of Inisherin, the Daniels for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Rian Johnson for Glass Onion and Knives Out Mystery, and Gina Prince Bythewood for The Woman King. And our winner for Best Director goes to Martin McDonagh for The Banshees of Inisherin. Like I said, basically everything that we already said. I mean, we for all of our winners, we basically already talked about so far. So yeah, not much more to say. Even though we really, really kind of wanted, the director one was hard because we had to really narrow it down. But our next six that didn't make the cut, we're we like these movies more, but director wise,
right.
they're not gonna be nominated. Next goes to the final award of the night, and that is Best Picture. The 10 nominees for Best Picture for the Oscars is All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of the Water, The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Tar, Top Gun Maverick, Triangle of Sadness, and Women Talking. First things first, I have obviously, I already said I have not seen Tar, I have not seen Triangle of Sadness, and I have not seen Women Talking. I wanted to watch All Quiet on the Western Front. I still have not seen that yet, and then everything else I have seen. Avatar, no, that's not going to win Best Picture. Banshees of Inisherin, I think I've said enough about that. Elvis, like I said, outside of Austin Butler's performance, that movie's a dumpster fire train wreck. Everything Everywhere All at Once, enough said. The Fabelmans, like I said, I enjoyed it for what it was, but I don't think it's Best Picture worthy. Top Gun Maverick is in terms of like fan, like we like it. Yes, it's one of the best pictures, but win Best Picture, no, not so much. So for me, it kind of comes down to 3 movies for winning, and I know it's going to sound like just a repeated record, but it to me it comes down to Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Banshees of Inisherin, and then I've been hearing a lot of late pushing for All Quiet on the Western Front. Who I think will win. A lot of people are saying that All Quiet on the Western Front is actually going to pull the upset and win this. So I'll actually go with what people are saying is that this is getting a late surge and will actually win the end of the night. So I think will win will be that, but I think should win is Everything Everywhere All at Once. It definitely, to me, is, in my opinion, one of the best films of the year. Banshees of Inisherin is right there, but like I said, the thing that keeps it for me is while it's executed perfectly, the story is still just a very basic story. Where Everything All at Once was a movie that I just did not think was going to hook me in the way it did, and it completely obliterated my expectations in the best possible way. But I might actually try to watch All Quiet on the Western Front before the Oscars happen to see if it's warranted all this buzz. But I think that's probably what's going to win the end of the night. What about you, Brian?
Yeah, a lot of it's kind of the same kind of thing. If I were to pick out what my favorite movie out of this year was, the one that I enjoyed the most out of this list, it would be Top Gun Maverick. But
Absolutely.
that is not, Oscar filmmaking, best picture kind of thing. It's just, I just don't see it winning at all. The other ones I've talked about, most of those, Avatar: Way of Water, great technical achievement. Again, it's good as a blockbuster kind of thing, and it's an amazing, achievement as a film, but it's not, again, the Oscar kind of fit. And yes, the first one, won for best director and things like that, losing out to best picture to Hurt Locker, but I just don't see this one winning at all. I don't even think it's in the discussion, honestly. So for me, I think that who should win, I would probably also say Everything Everywhere All at Once, which again, I have my issues with certain parts of it. But I think that of these nominees, this is the one that is the biggest, is the best made film. It's kind of, it's something very different. It's something very unique. I think they crafted something very special here, and I think it stands out among the crowd. As far as what I think will win, I'm still going to go with Everything Everywhere All at Once. I
hope it wins.
I have heard this late push as well for All Quiet on the Western Front. However, at least in the US, this is a movie that premiered on Netflix, and there are still a lot of people in the Academy who don't like that, who think it's that streaming is killing the movie industry, and they are going to hold that against it.
So you think both should and will?
Well, I think should and win will be Everything Everywhere All at Once.
All right. And our nominees for Best Picture, definitely different variety of lists.
Different lists.
Very different. But some still remain the same. Our nominees are Avatar: The Way of the Water, The Banshees of Inisherin, Bullet Train, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Glass Onion and Knives Out Mystery, RRR, The Northman, Top Gun Maverick, and The Woman King. And our winner for Best Picture and Best Film together of 2022 goes to RR fucking R, because it is the best fucking film. It is. That come on. Like, seriously? This movie not being nominated was a travesty. Not even for international.
Well, that's because
I know they didn't nominate it. But come on.
Yeah.
Seriously? And they just re-released it in theaters right before the Oscars came out. Like, what? Come on. This is the best movie. Like Brian and I, we were compiling the list. I was like, man, we're gonna have to argue over Everything Everywhere All at Once and something else. And then we were both like, I know what I want to pick. And you're like, so do I. I was like, all right, let's just say it together. 1, 2, 3. We both went RRR. I'm like, yep, RRR. Yeah. We're not even gonna argue over this. This is the smoothest decision.
Yeah, there are movies that I ranked above RRR in my year-end list. Things like Bullet Train and things like this. But RRR, I think, is just, it's such a unique thing. It's such an amazing experience to watch. It's so different than everything else you've seen. I think that it's beautifully crafted. I think no matter the length of the runtime, it never really feels its runtime. It's it's just such a well done breath of fresh air into movies. And I mean, it's not going to win acting awards. It's not going to win things like that. But as far as just best picture, as far as the film that most, stands out as something more than the rest, it's RRR.
Yeah, this movie has everything. And when I mean everything, I mean everything. And I mean,
Everywhere, all at once. No.
yes. I mean, especially, I mean, like, and like I said, it's not going to win any acting awards, but the acting was still really good. Like, you believe in this brotherhood, this friendship between the two leads. Wow, I'm blanking on the Ray
Winstone?
Winstone. Thank you.
No, Ray Stevenson. Ray Stevenson. Ray Stevenson.
I wanted to say Steven. I was like, that's not right. Great villain. His wife in the movie, great
Allison
villain.
Beatty. Yes.
The action is wacky beyond insane, but so is Everything Everywhere All at Once, and that's getting nominated for Best Picture. The music, if they don't do Natu performance at the Oscars, you failed. It's catchy, it's fun, and you can watch it literally on repeat because there's so much amazingness in this film. The CGI animals, yes, they're CGI, but the animal work in this movie is fun as hell. Dude literally grabs a freaking tiger and throws it at somebody. This movie is fucking bonkers in the best possible way. And even at 3 hours, it does not feel like 3 hours, where there are some movies that are 90 minutes that feels like 3 hours. This is 3 hours that feels like an hour 45, 2-hour movie. It is such a great, fun experience. And yes, it's on Netflix, but you know what? It's also in theaters right now, or did they already take it out?
It left. It was a 1-week engagement.
I was like, this is a movie that needs to be seen in theaters.
I could see it. I could see it coming back out again at some point, though. This seems like the kind of thing that they'll re-release occasionally.
Yeah, it was not available in my area, so I couldn't watch it in theaters, which really bummed me out. Yeah. But yeah, this was definitely collectively the best film of the year, which now joins the ranks of The Harder They Fall for the Movie Crusaders Movies of the Year Hall of Fame. We'll see what happens next year or this year for 2023, but we won't find out till next year when we make our picks. But that is our Oscar show, quick and painless.
Which Netflix movie will we nominate for the winner next year?
Yes. Quick and painless, something that you can't say when you watch the Oscars tomorrow or today, depending on when time this comes out. But we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you guys did, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you guys stay up to date with all the latest videos pop up on the Movie Crusaders. And of course, we have to follow us on all those social media outlets you see below. Out right now or coming out next year, because this is probably going to be a lot faster to edit than the other episode. Brian and I will be talking about Scream 6 spoiler chat. We're going to be talking about everything, and I mean everything, that happened in that film. So if you guys have seen Scream 6 and you want to know what our actual spoiler thoughts are on that, check out that video. It's long, but it is entertaining. And also you get to find out how we would have ended Scream 5 and our better ending for Scream 6. So if you guys didn't like the ending for either one of those films, watch that, find out our better ending, because they are better. Also, we got Cinemasochism and Weekly Crusaders that'll be coming out here next week, as well as a review for Shazam! Fury of the Gods. So we got a lot of videos coming out here, so be on the lookout for that. Leave your comments. Who do you think should win the awards here for the Oscars? Who are your nominees that maybe didn't make it to the Oscars because they weren't on the Oscars level? Let us know on that. But until next time, we are the Movie Crusaders. I'm Sean Wascrew. That's Brian Michaels. Until next time, in case we don't see you, go watch some movies and have some fun.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.